What's up, my friend? Abby here, and welcome back to Writer's Life Wednesdays, where we come together to help you make your story matter and make your author dreams come true. If you clicked on this video, chances are you are looking to craft seamless, memorable subplots into your story. You want to weave extra layers of depth and meaning into your narrative through your side characters to make your story that much more impactful. Let's face it, subplots can make or break a story. If you have no subplots, your story can turn out feeling flat and lackluster, like all of your side characters were two-dimensional because they were only there to serve the protagonist's plot. Or if you have too many subplots, it can sometimes distract from the main plot and divide your audience's attention in so many different directions that we don't even know what we're supposed to care about anymore. I believe that you can find balance between the two. You can cleverly craft subplots that add emotion and depth to your story while still keeping the focus anchored on the main character's journey. So if you want to write fantastic subplots, but you have no idea where to start, you just have a messy pile of ideas and you don't even know how to begin organizing them or incorporating them into your story, don't worry, I am here to help. In this video, we are going to explore the science of subplots and unpack the storytelling principles that make great subplots shine. And in my upcoming live training, we're going to dive even deeper into this topic. And I'm super excited because I'm going to show you my whole process, start to finish, how I create subplots, how I organize them during the outlining and writing process so that I can write with ease and confidence. So in this live training, we're going to dive deep into crafting subplots from scratch, and I'm basically going to hold your hand through this whole process, okay? So I'm very excited. I'll be giving you resources like templates and study guides, all kinds of valuable tools that you can use for all your future writing projects. So if you want to dive deeper into this whole topic of crafting compelling subplots, click the link below this video and save your spot at the live training. It's happening Sunday, March 27th at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And don't worry, if you can't make it to the live stream, you will still have access to the replay, which you can watch as many times as you want. By the way, I host these live training sessions in my Patreon community every single month, and I give you guys voting power to choose the topic of each new session. So last week, I put up a poll, you guys voted, and subplots won. So that's what we're talking about today. How to craft amazing subplots. Grab a notebook and let's get started.
Why does your story matter? Good question. What if I told you that there's a science behind every great story? I don't just teach you how to write. I teach you how to change the world with your story and make your author dreams come true.
The biggest mistake most writers make with writing subplots is they focus too much on what happens and not enough on why it matters. They make the mistake of thinking that a subplot is just a series of events happening on the side, subordinate to the main plot or main conflict. And while that may be true by definition, it's not a very helpful way to look at it from the writer's perspective. As I always emphasize on this channel, story is not just about the plot. It's not just about what happens to the protagonist. It's about why it matters to the protagonist. And when we start to understand why what's happening matters to the protagonist, we start to empathize with them. We start to understand their internal conflict. And once we understand that, we start to feel for them. And then the conflict no longer matters just to the protagonist, it also matters to us. If you're new to writing conflicted characters, I'd recommend starting with this video here. Actually, last month I did a whole live training on creating conflicted characters, which you can still watch the replay of that as well. I will leave the link below this video too. But basically, the most important takeaway is this. If I don't know why what's happening matters to the protagonist, I don't know why it matters to me. And that's why it's so vital to craft strong internal conflict for your protagonist. But it doesn't end there. Your side characters need to have internal conflict too. Why? Because they are the anchor of every good subplot. So instead of asking yourself what happens with the side characters, try asking yourself, what internal journey do my side characters experience throughout the course of the story? Now you might be thinking, well, I'm not going to be writing from my side characters' perspectives. It doesn't matter. They still need internal conflict. And you can still show us their internal conflict without necessarily going inside their point of view. This is where so many writers go wrong. Okay, they create a subplot without ever anchoring that subplot to a sub-character. And like I always say, it's the characters we care about. It's the characters we can relate to and empathize with. Remember, your side characters don't enter the story because the plot needs them to. They enter the story because they need to. That's basically the difference between a passive character and an active character. So the big question is this: how do we make our audience care about our side characters? First, we have to make them matter to the main character. Makes sense because this is likely the first character we're introduced to, the first character we start to care about. We start to learn their internal conflict. We can empathize with them. The protagonist is the measuring device that we subconsciously use to understand the importance of everything that happens in the story. In other words, everything gets its importance from how important it is to the protagonist, side characters included. So basically, you can ask yourself one question to understand immediately whether or not your subplot matters. Does my subplot directly engage with or impact the main character in my story? See, there needs to be this direct connection in order for us to understand why it matters. You can think of it like this: the main character is the first one we care about. The side characters are the ones we learn to care about because the MC cares. When we don't see the direct connection between the protagonist that we care about and the side characters, our subconscious starts searching for meaning, searching for that connection. We want to care. We want to have a reason to care. And we care through the protagonist. We feel what they feel. We empathize with their internal conflict. We want to see them succeed. What matters to the protagonist matters to us. Think about the last movie you watched or book you read where the subplots started to lose your interest. Okay? I guarantee you that loss of interest to you coincided with a loss of direct impact to the character that you cared the most about. So make your subplots matter to your protagonist.
But wait, Abbie, I'm writing a story with no real main character. There's a lot of characters, there's a huge cast, and all kinds of subplots, and I want my audience to care about everyone.
Okay, cool. That's a bit trickier to pull off, but it's totally doable. And the same rules apply. What is the direct connection? What is the central conflict that brings all of these characters together? Or what do they all have in common? Answering those questions is a good place to start. So what does this look like in action? How do you create subplots that matter to the protagonist and balance them with the main plot seamlessly? And how do you keep track of all of this and organize all of these subplots and side characters without wanting to rip your hair out? Those are big questions, and to answer them, we have to go deeper. That's why I am so excited to invite you to my live training all about subplots. There's only so much that I can unpack in a YouTube video, and this topic is so deep and complex, we've only scratched the surface. I want to give you not just basic principles, but valuable tools that you can take and use in your own story to make your subplots the best they can possibly be. In this live training, I'm going to share with you my exact process of crafting subplots start to finish, how I organize my subplots in the outlining stage and the writing stage, the best way to visualize your subplots coinciding with your main plot, how to outline subplots for a large cast of characters, tips for pacing and side character development, plus valuable templates and study guides that you can use to sharpen your subplots and learn from the best stories out there. That's all in the live training, and I'm so excited to dive into this with you. So click the link below this video to save your spot so you don't miss out. Remember, the training is happening on Sunday, March 27th at 1 p.m. Eastern. But again, if you can't make it to the live stream, don't worry. You will have access to the replay, which you can watch as many times as you want. And if you're from the future, you can still click the link below and get access to the replay instantly. I hope to see you there. It's going to be fantastic. Smash that like button if you liked this video, and be sure to subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, because I post writing videos every single Wednesday, and I would love to have you here in the community. Until next week, my friend, rock on.